Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on Are you ready for the SBI PO 2018 exam brought to you by TalentSprint. Well, there is a very important news that has come out which says 9.75 lakh candidates have applied for the SBI PO exam. You know that the last date to apply for SBI PO 2018 was 13th of May. Right, a couple of days back, and now that the application date is over, the last date is over, we've got to know that 9.75 lakh candidates have applied for the SBI PO 2018 exam. And I'm sure you guys know that the number of vacancies are only 2,000. So even if you round it off to 10 lakh candidates vying for those 2,000 SBI PO jobs, the competition is huge, right? If you do the calculation, it comes out that only 1 out of every 500 candidates will finally get the job. 1:500 is the competition. Similarly, when you look at the same report, I'm sure my team will share the link here in the chat for you to refer to it. It's a Times of India report. It also says that 16.6 lakh candidates have applied for the SBI clerks examination, right? You know that there are 8,300 jobs in SBI clerks and 16.6 lakh candidates have applied for it. So there again, if you do the calculation, it comes out that only 1 out of 200 candidates will eventually get this job, right? The SBI clerks or the SBI junior associates job, which was released a couple of months back. So in both the cases, you know that the competition is really huge, right? Whether it is SBI clerks or SBI PO, it's definitely going to be a tough competition, especially for those who are getting started with their preparation only now, right? I mean, there are students who have been preparing for these exams for more than a year or more than 2 years now, right? So they have already got a hang of it. They know how to appear, what are the important strategies and stuff like that, right? They're only practicing more and more to maximize their chances of selection. But then for those of you who are appearing in these exams for the first time, it will be even more difficult because there are much more experienced candidates who will appear along with you. All right. So anyway, the news is 9.75 lakh candidates competing for 2,000 SBI PO jobs this year. Now, what's interesting is that we had conducted a poll, right? Opinion poll, so to say. And the question was, is this a good news or a bad news? 9.75 lakh candidates appearing for SBI PO 2018. Is that a good news or a bad news? We started this poll only this morning on YouTube. We've got close to 800 responses so far, right? Only 800, I would say, right? But then a good sample, 800 responses. You know what's surprising? The results. 68% of the candidates believe that it's a bad news, and only about 30% or 32% to be precise think that it's a good news. Now, what's your view? Before we get into the further discussion, let me hear it out from you guys. The question is 9.7 lakh or 9.75 lakh candidates have applied for SBI PO 2018. Do you think that it's a good news or a bad news? I'm waiting for your responses. I can look at the chat. I can see that many of you have joined it already, and there's some interaction happening here. So is it a good news or a bad news? Good news. I see Anil mentioning that it's a good news. Dheeraj also feels so, and so is the case with Rajat Singh. But then we have Anuj who thinks that's really bad. Yeah. Prabhat says it's so. Sony says it's a neutral kind of a news. It's neither good nor it's bad. Yeah. All right. So, okay. Kirtika here says SBI ने तो खूब कमा लिया. Well, Kirtika, I know it looks like यार कितना पैसा बनाया होगा. मतलब अगर 10 लाख लोगों ने अप्लाई किया है और एप्लीकेशन फी अगर 500 या 600 जो भी हो, तो काफ़ी पैसा बना लिया. बट कीर्तिका, लेट मी टेल यू कि एग्जाम कंडक्ट करने में काफ़ी खर्चा होता है, और SBI जैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को इन मीन्स की ज़रूरत नहीं है पैसा कमाने के लिए, राइट? सो आई मीन फॉर एन इंडिविजुअल इट मे लुक लाइक कि बॉस 500-600 हमने पे किए हैं, बट एग्जाम कंडक्ट करना भी ईजी नहीं है. आई मीन इमेजिन कि 10 लाख स्टूडेंट्स का एग्जाम अगर कंडक्ट करना हो ओवर 2 वीकेंड्स, इतने सारे नोड्स अवेलेबल करने होंगे अक्रॉस द कंट्री, राइट? इतने सारे एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर्स को अवेलेबल करना, स्लॉट्स बुक करना. सो या, द पॉइंट इज दिस इज नॉट अ profit making exercise for any organization. I'm sure there are better ways to make money, especially when it comes to banks. So yeah, but point taken, paisa to खूब आया है, right? Anyways, all right, let's not get digressed here. Now there's a response to your comment from Nilab who says उससे ज़्यादा तो विजय माल्या ने उठा लिया. Anyway, the point is competition is huge. I have got a mixed response from you guys. It's kind of equally divided between bad and new, but there are some interesting comments which have come in, right? I mean, I see Daniel here who says competition is always good, so it's always to be with competitive spirit rather to be lazy, right? I mean, that's one way of looking at it, right? And I think I really appreciate his comment here, right? So competition is good, and it's good to be a part of a competition, right? Then only you feel like, okay, you've really achieved something. What's fun in competing with 2,000 guys for 2,000 jobs? So I think, yeah, I like the message there. But moving on, we have others who say, you know, it's definitely a bad news. And then Sahil says last time the ratio was even high, right? Right? Aishwarya Biswas says, मैंने तो सोचा कि 40 लाख तक होगा, right? I mean, 40 lakh candidates would have applied. But yeah, and then we also have Abhishek here who says last year there were 25 lakh candidates. So yes, if you ask me about the numbers last year, there were about, I mean, the news is that there were about 24 to 26 lakh candidates who had applied for the same set of 2,000 jobs last year as well. So keeping that in mind, right, the numbers last year, this year the competition is far, far lower because 25 lakhs versus less than 10 lakhs this year. So in that sense, it's a good news because the competition is going down. But yeah, for freshers, it's always like a bad news, right? I mean, you would have never imagined 10 lakh people competing for just 2,000 jobs. Anyways, so my opinion is it doesn't really matter. I could read a couple of you here mentioning that, yeah, how does it matter? हमें सिर्फ एक job चाहिए and बाकी की 1,999 jobs दूसरों के लिए छोड़ देते थे. I think that's the spirit, and that's what I always like to mention, right? Remember, this doesn't really matter whether 10 lakh people appear for it or 25 lakh people appear for it. You got to be focused. I am not saying that it's not gonna impact the result. It definitely will impact the result, but it should not impact your preparation, right? Preparation has to be done in the right way and with the right strategy. You got to have a right study plan with you so that you can maximize your chances of selection, right? And this is a coincidence, I would say, that the numbers are out. We have got to know it. If the numbers were not released, I'm sure more than 50-60% of you would have believed that there are 25 lakh candidates, right? And you will prepare keeping that in mind. So the point, guys, is, you know, keep your focus on, prepare in the right way, right? Just preparing alone is not going to help. You have to have a strategy, right? And we have already discussed in detail about how to prepare using a 60-day plan, 60-day study plan that we had released a couple of weeks back, right? For those of you who have participated in that live session, I'm sure you have the study plan already. You would have downloaded that 60-day study plan from the LMS, from our portal. But for those who have not joined, I'll take you through the LMS once again towards the end of this discussion, and I'll show you how to download the 60-day study plan that we have. Of course, 60 days are not left anymore. The study plan was discussed in the beginning of this month when we actually had 60 days left. But now that we are on 17th of May, we have just about 45 days for the first lot of SBI PO preliminary examination. So you'll have to tune it accordingly, right? I mean, you'll have to make sure that you spend more time per day so that you can cover everything in the next 45 days. So don't worry, we have a study plan for all of you, right, which can serve as a guideline. I will not say that you should all follow the same study plan because all of us cannot have the same strategy, right? Our strengths are different, our weaknesses are different, and our style is different, right? So I would say that the same plan will not help all of us, but it will definitely serve as a guideline, right? Based on your opportunity areas, based on your strengths, based on what you are already good at, and based on what you want to improve, you should, you know, tweak it accordingly and go ahead with it, right? But definitely we need a study plan, right? Whether you are with TalentSprint or with anybody else, a study plan is very, very important. I mean, that will make sure that you steer in the right direction and be fully confident when you walk into the examination hall. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the point I wanted to make to all of you, that there's a plan available, just follow that. I had also seen some comments from from some of the students saying that is this really a genuine news or not, right? That only 9.75 lakh candidates have applied. It's a genuine news. It has come from a senior person in SBI, and you can refer to the link which has been shared here, right, in the chat. So please go through that. Doesn't really matter in my view. Eventually you should be focused on getting that one job, right? I mean, I also see many students complain that there are only 2,000 jobs, which kind of surprises me, right? Because what do you mean by only 2,000 jobs? You need only one, and that's there. Like someone had rightly mentioned, मुझे एक job चाहिए, and that's there. The rest of it, 1,999, I'll leave for the competition. If you are with that mindset and that focus, I think then things become a lot easier for you. All right. So I think that's what I wanted to communicate. I can take up some questions if you have. You can just post your questions in the chat here, and I would love to address those. And do not worry, towards the end, in the next 5 minutes, I'll take you through the portal and I'll explain you how you can download the 60-day plan. Let me tell you, it still remains a 60-day plan because 45 days is from today, but when we had released it, it had 60 days left for the exam. So you have to tune it accordingly, right? You have to change it accordingly. But what's really important is that you practice a lot, right? Learning is one thing. Learning is one component of your preparation, but the other and the more important component in my view is practice, right? Because it's not that the concept is difficult. I mean, the type of questions asked in these exams are what we have learned in 10th standard, right? Up to 10th standard. So be it quantitative aptitude or English language or reasoning ability, we know all these concepts. We can solve all these questions. What we cannot really do, or what we really struggle to do, is solving these questions in that limited time, in that 1 hour of time, right? And there's no shortcut for that, unfortunately, right? The only shortcut is to practice more. So practice is a very important part of your preparation. Make sure that you spend enough time taking daily practice test or weekly subject level test and weekly SBI PO format test, so that you can get used to the whole format, right? It's all about spending that 1 hour, right? I mean, all these number of hours that you spend is eventually for what? Is for that 1 hour that you're gonna spend in the real examination, right? So for that 1 hour to be really very, very useful and to be used properly, you have to spend hundreds of hours in practice. So make sure that you do that, okay? I can see Jayashree, who's actually a TalentSprint student, mentions that please share a plan for 45 days as well. Well, Jayashree, I think there's nothing that we need to do in that. You can just make sure that you cover up all the topics in the remaining 45 days, but I'll discuss this with the team and maybe we'll put up a 45-day plan as well. Okay. Now, let me just look at questions if there are any. We have Pradeep here who says, this is my first attempt and taking me so long to solve. Well, Pradeep, don't worry. It does take time initially to solve these questions, but you'll get used to it. I mean, that's exactly why I said practice is important. It's not that you're not able to get the answer. The problem is you're taking too long to get to the answer. And the only way to get better with that is to practice more, right? So keep practicing, and I hope you prepare with the right strategy so as to clear it in your first attempt itself. Okay. What level of DI should we expect in SBI PO prelims? Please answer. This question has come from Ratnakar. Well, Ratnakar, all of us know that SBI has been has been kind of always surprising with the kind of questions that they ask, especially in the SBI PO mains examination, right? The level of data interpretation questions asked is astonishing, right? It's not really very difficult in the preliminary examination, but you should be prepared for the worst, right? In my view, what has really changed over the last 1 or 2 years is that the data given is incomplete in the first place, what is popularly known as missing data interpretation. And we have a lot of questions in our learning portal if you want to prepare for that. So they have started asking this so-called missing data interpretation questions where the data is incomplete. Incomplete as in the data is not fully given in the table or in the pie chart. Some part of the data or some part of information is given in the question. So you have to, use this together, the information given in the question along with the information given in the data, to be able to arrive at the answer, right? So that's one way the difficulty level has kind of gone up by a notch. The other thing that has happened is earlier they used to ask data interpretation questions on data of companies or data of population or data of, let's say, profits made by different companies and things like that. But these days we have seen that more and more data interpretation questions are being framed on arithmetic ability topics. Like you have a question on data interpretation where the data is talking about time and work, or the data is talking about time and distance, or the data is talking about profits and losses and percentage profits of various companies, or it's talking about let's say simple and compound interest. Yeah. So just knowing the concept of percentages or ratio and proportions or average is not or will not be enough for you to solve these questions. You should know what are the concepts of simple and compound interest. You should know what are the concepts of time and work. What are the various question types in time and distance. Only then you will be able to crack these type of DEI based questions. Yeah. So the long story short is, be prepared for the worst. You never know what kind of questions will be asked. But I am definitely of the view that the time that you have in your hand is enough for you to get ready for this exam. Yeah. So make use of this time wisely and get going. I mean, just keep practicing. Don't get nervous. Don't panic. Competition is tough. 1 in 500 is not easy. And I'm not sure how many of you are ready for this competition at this point in time. But then with each passing day, you should get closer to getting that right level of confidence. Yeah. Pratik has asked me a very interesting question for which I have a very simple answer. His question is, can we expect data sufficiency questions in prelims? Pratik, I wish I knew the answer to this. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer. All right. And to Pratik and to all those who are on the other side now, let me tell you, these type of questions that generally come across, right? I mean, will they ask questions on data sufficiency or not? Will they ask difficult type of questions in data interpretation or not? What are the important topics and things like that? I am afraid that I don't know the answer, right? I mean, I'm being very honest. Let me tell you, I have no clue if data sufficiency will be asked or not. All I can tell you is you better prepare, right? I mean, you never know. The most predictable part of these competitive exams is unpredictable. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? Like for instance, if I say all the 50 questions or let's say all the 35 questions in aptitude this time will be on data sufficiency, will you believe me? No. Even if I say that, you will still prepare on the other topics, right? Or if I say, okay, Pratik, no questions on data sufficiency will be asked. Don't worry, just prepare on the remaining topics. Will you believe me? You should not believe me because you never know. I mean, I don't know, honestly. So if somebody is telling you that they know about it, I leave it to you to decide. But in my view, I have no clue. Nobody should have any clue. I mean, it's all a closed secret, right? I mean, we'll get to know only on the day of the exam. So don't worry about it. And definitely don't worry about the number of questions that you have to attempt or the sectional cutoff and things like that. I mean, cutoff is like one very popular question. What will be the expected cutoff? I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea at all. I mean, I know that in the ongoing IPL, Sunrisers Hyderabad is the best team, right? They have won 9 out of the 12 matches that they have played so far. But can you tell me, will they win the 13th or the 14th match? No, it's exactly like that. I mean, I do not know what the cutoff is going to be. All I know is competition is huge. 1 in 500 is the competition, and you better get ready for it, right? Yeah, Hina has asked this question to me. Hina Divedi, right? What will be the approximate cutoff for general? Please tell. Hina, सच बता रहा हूँ, मुझे नहीं पता है. If I have to make it sound like really कनेक्टिंग माँ कसम मुझे नहीं पता कि कट ऑफ क्या होने वाला है, राइट. एंड पता करना भी नहीं है. आई मीन लाइक अगर मैं भी एग्जाम के लिए अप्लाई करूँ, आई वुड बी लाइक बॉस किसको बताया है, किसी को नहीं पता. Vikas Chauhan has asked a very nice question. He says how to increase the mock test score. So Vikas, I had mentioned this in my last session as well when we were talking about the 60-day study plan, which is available for you to download if you want to. Do not worry about your mock test score. I know generally what happens is when we are preparing, we keep taking these mock tests, and I had mentioned that you should take at least 20 mock exams before you go for the real examination, right? So 20 mock exams, it may so happen that your scores are going up and down. Don't worry, right? Like for example, in mock test number 3, if you have scored 60 marks, and in mock test number 4, you have scored only 55 marks or 50 marks or 40 marks, don't panic. Yes, the score has come down, right? But then it doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. What matters is there were certain mistakes that you had committed in mock test number 3. Did you repeat those? If yes is your answer, then you are in a bad shape. You know, you are in a right. You're not in the right state. The only thing that you all should try to ensure is not to repeat your mistakes, right? And that's why I told you, right? If the mock exam is for 1 hour, in fact, the mock exam will be for 1 hour, right? In the real format, like in the real format. If the exam is for 1 hour, you should spend 2 hours analyzing your performance, right? Taking just 1 hour mock exam and looking at the score is not of any use. You should spend 2 hours at least to analyze what actually did you do in that last 1 hour. You know, how did you spend those 60 minutes? What could have been done better? What could have been avoided, and things like that to maximize your score, to improve your score, right? So I think it's all about the exercise of learning from your mistakes, right? Why do we say take so many mock tests? Practice and more practice. It's only to get you used to it, right? So keep practicing, learn from your mistakes, make sure that you don't repeat your mistake, and score I'm sure will automatically improve, right? So that's the point. Yeah, don't worry, and just keep learning from your mistakes. Don't repeat your mistakes. We have Raja Roy Chaudhary who says, "Sir, score booster कब शुरू होगा?" Well, Raja, let me tell you that score booster as such हम हमेशा ही करते हैं, but इस बार there's this whole lot of videos available for you as a part of our free coaching, so you can enroll in our free coaching. You can look at the details here on the screen to enroll for the same. So just look at those videos, and we have our sessions planned like 5 sessions a week, in which we are covering questions relevant for your SBI PO and also the SSC CGL exam, which is coming up, right? So in a way, it's already gotten started. You just have to join us in our sessions. Somebody says how to join TalentSprint and all. I think simple, go to talentsprint.com/SBIPO, right? talentsprint.com/SBIPO. You can join from there, and then look at our programs. Now I recall somebody had mentioned about strategy for puzzles, and that puzzles carry a good weightage in the reasoning section of this exam, right? So how do you prepare for puzzles? I think that's a interesting question. And every time we do a session on reasoning, we come across this complex seating arrangements, right? Circular arrangements, linear arrangements, floor-based puzzles, and then these days we also have this rectangular table arrangements where there are long sides, short sides, corners, and things like that, right? I mean, all the variety of puzzles have been covered, and we keep solving more and more puzzles every time we meet in our live sessions on a daily basis. The realization each time, at least that I have, is that the best way to deal with puzzles is not to deal with them, right? The easiest way to solve puzzles is to skip and go to the next one, right? So if you look at it, you will be having, understand what is the game. The game is for 20 minutes. The reasoning ability game in the real exam is for 20 minutes. In these 20 minutes, you will be tested on 35 questions from reasoning, right? 35 questions, 20 minutes of fixed time. Out of these 35 questions, going by the history, we can say 15 to 20 questions will be from puzzles. 3 to 4 puzzles will be asked. The remaining 15 questions will be from various other topics of reasoning, which covers syllogism, machine input output, coding and decoding, blood relations, directions, and things like that, right? So if I am taking the exam, or my strategy would be, I have very limited time. I don't want to take the risk of solving a puzzle in 20 minutes, because sometimes even, one puzzle may take up to 20 minutes. And you're not there to solve just one puzzle, a very complex puzzle, and say, see, you have solved a complex one. You will get 5 marks. What's the point? I mean, even if you get that puzzle, you'll be able to score only 5 marks in 20 minutes. So it makes no sense. What a smart student would do is first solve all the independent questions, meaning questions which are not puzzles, which are from other topics like syllogs, machine input output, coding and decoding, coded inequalities, alphabet, directions, blood relations, ranking and ordering, logical series, and stuff like that, right? Data sufficiency and these kind of topics. So even if there are 10 to 15 questions, in my view, it would take about, let's say, same time, 10 to 15 minutes of your time to answer those questions. That ensures that you've answered decent number of questions, and none of these topics are difficult to solve, let me tell you, right? I mean, you can easily crack these questions. So once you're done with it, in the remaining 5 or 10 minutes that you have, 5 or 8 minutes that you have, then you should go and choose one of the 4 puzzles that you have been asked there. Whether you will be able to solve that puzzle or not depends. There's no guarantee. So I think, if this has to be the strategy, you have to make sure that you learn how to skip puzzles. That's very, very important. What happens usually is we get excited, right? I mean, you look at a puzzle, you're like, okay, boss, ये कर लेंगे तो 5 number बन जाएंगे मेरे. So let me try it out. और easy लग रहा है. अब जो easy लग रहा है वो easy हो ज़रूरी नहीं है, right? And then we have seen that most of the times we get stuck. I'm not saying skip puzzles completely, right? Don't get me wrong. Many students tell me कि boss ये क्या है, आप puzzles मतलब skip करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं. I'm not saying कि you have to skip it for good, right? पहले बाकी के जो easy questions हैं उन्हें solve कर लें. And once you're done with the remaining questions, come back to puzzles. And you have to do a nice guess कि इन 3 puzzles में से I think I should try this क्योंकि ये easy लग रहा है, शायद ये जल्दी हो जाए. Right? अब होगा नहीं होगा depend करता है, but then you have to apply this strategy. Now, having said that, practicing puzzles is very important. I mean, just because we are not going to solve it in the exam does not mean that you will not practice at all. Practicing is very, very important. Now you may ask me why. In fact, many students ask me why. कि जब आप हर question के बाद बोल रहे हो skip करना है तो हम practice क्यों करें? क्या पता कल SBI PO के exam में 35 के 35 questions puzzles में से पूछे जाए. You never know. And then I don't want you guys to come and hold my collar कि आप ही ने बोला था puzzles नहीं पूछे जाएंगे और puzzle solve नहीं करने. So I repeat myself. The most predictable thing is unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow, all 35 may be from puzzles. So you should have that idea of how to approach these questions, how to solve these questions. Okay? So do practice, but examination point of view, be very clear. The easiest way is to ditch these questions and move to the easier ones. Okay? Ravi Shankar Prasad says, I can't solve blood relation on the circle, I tried a lot. Very good. You know what? Don't solve it. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Circular arrangement coupled with blood relation is like a disaster. Right? A circular arrangement coupled with a blood relation or any sort of puzzle which involves blood relations is not complex. It's called very complex. And you know what's the best way to solve? Skip. S-K-I-P. Skip and go to the next one. Right? I mean, this is like doing a stunt, right? Don't try this at home, like how they usually show in reality shows, right? Display that this is being done under supervision. Please don't try this at home. Don't try that in the exam. Believe me, it will only spoil your paper. Okay, so skip. Somebody says, what's the difference between puzzles in prelims and mains? I don't know. It is supposedly it's supposed to be easy in prelims and not so easy in mains, but you never know again. शुभम जोशी से करंट अफेयर्स कैसे प्रिपेयर करें एसबीआई पीओ और क्लर्क के लिए. आई थिंक करंट अफेयर्स तो डेली फंडा है, राइट. हमने लास्ट टाइम भी डिस्कस किया था 60 डे स्टडी प्लान में कि करंट अफेयर्स प्रिपेयर करने के लिए आपको डेली हाफ एन आवर स्पेंड करना है न्यूज़पेपर के साथ. सो दैट्स इट. आई थिंक उसमें कोई सेकेंड थॉट्स है ही नहीं. आई मीन एवरी डे रीड न्यूज़पेपर एंड कीप योरसेल्फ अपडेटेड एंड रीड द राइट pieces of news, right? I mean, newspaper का मतलब ये नहीं कि सीधे page 3 पे जाओ and read what is interesting, read what is important, and that you will get to know once you look at different types of questions that have been asked. Okay. Rishabh Rajput says, I am not confident about quant miscellaneous. Should I skip those? Definitely not. Quant miscellaneous are no more quant miscellaneous, Mr. Rajput, because quant miscellaneous, I'm assuming you're referring to arithmetic ability type of questions, time and work, time and distance and stuff. Those type of questions are also being asked under data interpretation these days. So you're not betting for 1 mark, you're betting on 5 marks, which is a big risk in my view. And it's not difficult to learn those concepts, right? You should have the right study material or right sources with you. You will be able to solve those questions very easily. What is meant by assignment provided in SBI PO 60-day plan? Okay, Vamshi Krishna seems to have downloaded our 60-day study plan, and he says, what is the meaning of assignment, which was given in the 60-day study plan? So Vamshi, I think what we do at TalentSprint is there is one type of question which we classify as assignments. I mean, these are, in a way obsolete now. These type of questions are not being asked. I mean, at least in the recent exams you have not seen, but if you recall, there were questions where 8 students or 8 persons are available. Each one likes a different color. Each one comes from a different company. All you have to do is do the assignment कि किसको कौन सा color पसंद है और कौन सी company से आ रहा है. I mean, belongs to which company and which color does that person like. So it's like assigning the parameters to this group of 8 persons. So that's what is called assignment. I mean, that's how we have classified those questions. So that's the assignment. It's the name of a topic. Videos are available on the same in our learning portal. You can watch those videos. It's not a assignment in the sense a test. It's a topic. Okay, don't get confused. Somebody says, Rachit Shukla says, sir, how much did you practice? Okay. All right. So how much did you practice to reach this level of intelligence? Well, Rachit, I don't know. I think the best part of being a teacher is you are a learner, or in my view, a good teacher is a good learner. So मैंने बस पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया, and I think it's kind of होते होते हो गया type. So I have practiced a lot. I mean, I definitely would like to mention that practice is the key, and I have gone through a lot of practice, and the fact that I have been teaching has made me practice before my sessions those days. So it's like that, right? When I tell you that every day you have to practice on speed math 30 minutes per day, in a way I actually do it every day 30 minutes. It happens, it has become a kind of second nature, right? I mean, if I'm not doing anything, I kind of, numbers flash, I multiply, add, and things like that happen. So I think that's what has helped me. It's not really a great level of intelligence, but yeah, got used to it. I mean, it's like doing something regularly makes it easier, right? Like they say, practice makes a man perfect. I would still say I'm not perfect. It's the other way around, right? Practice will reduce your imperfections. I think, yeah, I've practiced enough to reduce my imperfections, and that's what helps me. So, and that's a shortcut. There's no other way out. So keep practicing. What else? Avilash Pradhan says, can I send you some questions? Well, Avilash, you can definitely send us questions, all your questions that you have got stuck with. All you have to do is log into our free coaching. There are discussion forums available, and post your questions in the discussion forum. We will take it up. We will take it up in our live classes. Suresh says, please suggest what kind of question to attempt or what to leave. Well, Suresh, this is a kind of technical question. We will take it up in our upcoming live classes. the type of questions that you have to attempt and type of question that you have to leave is actually discussed on a daily basis in our live sessions, right? In the refresher sessions that we take up. So yeah, join those sessions and you will get to know about it. Yeah. Chirag Agarwal has asked me, a question which says, what mistakes should I avoid to get selected? And I think the answer lies in your question itself. Avoid the mistakes. So yeah, avoid the mistakes. I think you cannot score. See, get your facts right. You know that you will not be able to score 100 out of 100 in the exam. I mean, I'll not be able to, and I don't want to score 100 of 100 because that's not the benchmark, right? I mean, I don't want to prove that I can score 100. All I want to do is I should get a call for the next exam, next round, which is the main examination. For that to happen, I should attempt questions intelligently, all right? And for me to attempt questions intelligently, it's not a pill that I can give you which will help you choose questions wisely, right? It comes with practice. So I think practice is the key, Chirag, and practice alone will not be helpful. Again, I had discussed this in those 5 techniques. In fact, Chirag, what you can do is instead of asking this question to me, there's a video that we had done a couple of weeks back on 5 techniques that can help you crack SBI PO or SBI clerks exam, right? 5 techniques that can help you score more in these exams. That video is available on YouTube. You can just watch that video to learn exactly about these things in detail. But the point is, yeah, practice is very, very important, but practice alone will not be helpful. You have to analyze what you're doing, right? Analysis of your own performance is very, very important. And, keep tweaking your preparation accordingly. How to score 20 plus marks in English, Lavanya. What is your name? Lavanya. Okay, so Lavanya, how to score 20 plus marks in English? This I think has come to a wrong person. Sylvia will be able to help you. I actually wanted Sylvia to join me in this session with all of you so that we can address your queries and concerns together, but she very intelligently kind of ditched it. But don't worry, she's actually getting ready for her next session at 6 o'clock. In fact, I'll have to close now because Sylvia's got a live class now at 6 o'clock for the TalentSprint students. And I think the class is on spot the error, right? A very, very important topic when it comes to bank and other competitive exams. So spotting error or spot the error is the topic which Sylvia is going to take up. And I'm sure when we are dealing with these topics in our refresher classes, we also tell you how to boost your score in that particular topic or at a higher level in that particular subject. So you can join that live class, Lavanya. I'm assuming you have enrolled for Talisman. If not, TalentSprint.com/SBI PO is the address, right? Go to TalentSprint.com/SBI PO, join us in the free coaching, and you'll have access to some of these live classes, which will help you get your queries addressed. Yeah. Ravi Kumar says, is it possible to crack IBPS PO in 5 months? Definitely possible. If I have to answer that in one word. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible to crack IBPS PO in 5 months. Forget about IBPS PO. It is possible to crack SBI PO in 2 months or whatever 45 days left for it. Impossible is nothing. You have to be determined. You have to believe that you can do it. I think question yourself, can you do it or not? And the answer should be yes. If you think you can, you will. If you think you cannot, you will not. As simple as that. So unless you have the conviction, no point in preparing. If you're like, yaar, hoga to nahi, try maar lete hain, then better don't prepare. No, why are you stressing yourself? I mean, unnecessary pressure. Enjoy life instead, right? So even if you have that slightest of the doubt, even an iota of doubt is there in your mind that yaar, nahi hoga, I'll not be able to crack it, don't prepare. You are wasting your energy, let me tell you. You have to be confident. You have to get that confidence ki, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. 45 days, I'll prepare. I'll do my best. Whether you will be able to crack preliminary exam or not, will you get a call for the main exam or not is secondary. You should believe that I can do it. That's why I told you, right? The performance in that 1 hour actually doesn't really matter. What matters is when you're walking into the examination center, you should be like confident ki, I have done all that I was supposed to do. I have not left anything unturned. I've tried my best in my preparation. If you are that confident when you're going for the exam, it will reflect in your performance. But you know what happens most of the times with those 499 students? I told you, right, out of 500 students, only one will get a job. The remaining 499 will not get the job. What happens with these 499 guys is when they're walking to the examination hall, like, they're like, Arey, I should have done that also. I should have prepared on this topic also. I didn't really spend time wisely. I spent a lot of time on WhatsApp. I spent a lot of time with my friends. I could have cut that down and focus more on preparation. If these kind of thoughts strike you, you are gone. Very clear. You will not be able to perform. You will be scared. I'm again not saying that you will not get a call, but call for the next round or anything like that. But being confident is very, very important. Yeah, and that confidence comes only through practice. It's not a test of your knowledge. I mean, it definitely is a test of your knowledge, but you know, more than that, it's a test of your mindset, right? How you behave, how you react to situation, how do you react under pressure. That's what they're testing in 1 hour, right? I mean, you can go and fight with SBI. Yeah, this is too much. You are giving 100 questions in only 60 minutes. Cheating. You should give at least 100 minutes for 100 questions. But they want to see how do you work under pressure, right? I mean, if 100 minutes are given, all of us will crack the exam. But that's not the point. So for you to be able to showcase that you are really good, you have to have that right attitude. Attitude is very important. Yeah. Abhishek Sharma says the pressure during the exam just ruins all the preparation. What's the escape? Abhishek Sharma, let me tell you, the pressure that you get during the exam is because of the unnecessary things that that keeps lingering in your mind, right? कि cutoff क्या होगा, or what will happen, will they ask data sufficiency or not, what should be the number of questions that I should attempt. Don't worry about these things. Stop worrying about these things. See, a little bit of pressure is natural. It has to be there. I mean, it will be worrisome if you are not not nervous at all. Little bit of nervousness is fine, but it should not become it should not get to a level of panic. There comes the problem. Okay. Yeah. Ishan Sharma says, can I skip miscellaneous in mains? Ishan, I think in my view we are too far away from mains now. Focus on your preliminary examination. Don't skip miscellaneous questions in prelims. Mains ka we will discuss. Don't worry. Somebody says, can you upload the Hindu and Times of India on the TalentSprint portal? Well, I'm not sure about that. Shubham has asked this question. But I'm sure the Hindu and the Times of India are available in abundance everywhere, right? So, do subscribe to one. I am not very sure about it. But what we do every day is we upload current affairs on our portal. You can refer to those current affairs. Okay? Where can I get your study plan? So, I think it's time now. What I'll do is I'll share the screen with all of you and explain you how to download the study plan. Okay? And after that we can close so that the next session can also start. Anubhav Gupta says, sir, many times in phobia of failure, I mark wrong options. How to tackle with it? This is more a psychological question, Anubhav. And I'm sure this is not uncommon. This is very, very common, right? I mean, this phobia of failure ruins your performance. You know how to do it, but you're not able to do it because you're scared. So what do we do? I mean, honestly, I don't have an answer. I think practice should help. Yeah. See, I think you have to keep yourselves motivated, and conviction is very, very important. All this phobia of failure, nervousness, pressure, all this builds up just because you're not confident about yourself. So you have to think positive. You have to surround yourself with positive energy and, believe that you can do it. I think that should solve this problem to a large extent. Yeah. Be confident. You can do it. If required, look at some motivational stuff which can, pump you up, right? I mean, that's the reason. In fact, I now recall I had mentioned about the mountain man, right? Dashrath Manshi. I mean, He's carved a 110-meter path by cutting a mountain, man. It took him like 24, 28 years with just a hammer and chisel. And I'm sure on day one he was like, how will I do this? I mean, it's like actually moving a mountain, right? But he did it. He did it. And he was confident that he could do it. And that has led to comfort of thousands and thousands of people in that state of Bihar. So, he believed in himself, right? He had that conviction that I can do it, right? People laughed at him, but he did it. And he did not depend on anyone. And I think I am just trying to repeat what I mentioned in my last class, but then I would love to do that. So let me tell you, the best part about him is, I was looking at one of the interviews where he says, the reporter, as usual, they ask useless questions. So they're like, did he not think that you will not be able to do it, and something like that. So he gave a very, very interesting response. He says कि ऊपर वाले के भरोसे मत बैठो, क्या पता वो आपके भरोसे बैठा है, right? So I think that's really motivating. I mean, that motivates me every time I look at that. It's like, do not depend on even God if you believe in him, because maybe he is dependent on you to get something done, right? So keep yourselves motivated. I think that will help you. Alright, so I think time now. I'll quickly log into the portal and show you how to download the study plan, because some of you have not got it yet, I guess. You have not downloaded it. So what I'll do is first show you where to register yourself. See, if you have a TalentSprint account, you'll be able to download. And for you to have a free TalentSprint account, you should first go to our website, which is this. Let me share the screen first. I'm now going to take you to our website. Just a second. I hope you are all able to see this. So what you have to do is go to talentsprint.com/, there are many URLs. You can try SBI PO as well, right? talentsprint.com/ sorry, I think I made a mistake. talentsprint.com/SBI PO. Okay, let me try this instead. talentsprint.com/exam prep. It may be because of the So go to talentsprint.com/exam prep. That's the website. All you have to do is join free, right? You can just look at this page, which gives you all the details. Join for free. There's nothing that you have to pay. No payment required. You'll be able to learn concepts, tips and techniques, practice in real exam interface, prepare anytime, anywhere without paying anything. So join free. It'll ask you for a few details. Just fill in those details, and once you fill the details, you'll get your email ID and your login ID and password for logging into our portal. Our portal is this. The actual shop, right, where you have to log in. So let me just quickly log in. I'll enter my details here and show you how to download the study plan from, a way to download the study plan from. What's the password? Just a second. Okay, so I have logged in. You can now see that I am logging in. Yes, so I've logged into the portal. So there are all these courses that we have, right? It starts with a study plan for various exams. Then we have quantitative aptitude, general intelligence and reasoning, English language, current affairs, general awareness and banking, general knowledge, computer awareness, marketing awareness, descriptive paper, and interview guidance, right? All these are there. So all you have to do is go to this course called study plan, click on this. You will find all these exams, upcoming exams, right? SSC CGL, SBI PO, SBI clerks, NABARD, right? So we have put up study plans for all these upcoming exams. So go to SBI PO. There's this 60-day study plan, and there are a lot of other things like notification. I'm sure all of you have seen already how to apply important dates and stuff like that. Then there is this one more item here, which are 5 must follow techniques to crack SBI PO or clerk exam, right? I think I told you about this, right? There's one video that we have done, so you can access that video from here. Just go to 60-day study plan, click on this, and here you'll have the 60-day plan. So it has got slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, all the meanings of these slots and all have been explained. In fact, you can watch this video as well. There is this video, 60-day study plan video, which you can watch in case you want to know how to use the study plan. It's fairly easy to use the plan, but you can refer to this video and then download this PDF for 60 days. It has got all the details. In fact, it will link you to all the topics. Like for example, you want to prepare on ranking. You click on ranking, it will take you to the ranking topic directly. And where we have got all the basic videos, advanced videos, additional videos. There is a workbook available in ranking which you can download. This workbook is nothing but a collection of questions. Yeah. All these video symbols that you see are questions which have been covered through videos. And all the videos are available for you to download. So I think download the study plan from there. There are a lot of other resources available. I mean, you can actually learn in each of these courses. Around 20% of the videos are open for free. So you can just check those. Also, we have got practice tests here. You can just click on practice test to go to our test site, which is exampractice.talisman.com, and we have got this daily test and all coming up here, right? I mean, we publish daily test for the upcoming exams. I have missed most of the tests in my account because I don't take these tests, but yeah, there are tests available. There are subject level tests available. There are mock tests available. There are some previous year papers and all India mock exams that we conduct. Okay. So, and a lot of other resources. Events calendar will tell you what are the upcoming events that we have, all the live classes and tests that we do, right? There's also a help center where you can ask all your questions, technical questions basically. And somebody was asking me, right, how to post doubts, how do I ask my questions? All you have to do is just go to this course, then there is a student discussion here, click on that and post your questions. When you post your questions here in any of these topics, we will answer it either in the forum itself or we'll take it up in the next live class, the upcoming live class, right? Like for example, here I'm sure you will be able to see when is the next live class. It is on 25th of May for quantitative aptitude. Before that, we have reasoning live class, English live class, and the doubts clarification sessions. So I think, yeah, a lot of content is available inside the portal for you. You can access that, learn from whatever is available for you for free there, and strategize your preparation. Okay. So that's about it. I think I'll have to close here. Our next session is going to start for some titanium students of TalentSprint who have enrolled in one of those programs. So thank you all for joining us here in this session. I hope all of you have got your questions answered. I'm sure not all the questions have been answered, but you've got an idea of how do you strategize your preparation. Remember, competition is huge. 1 in 500 students only will get this SBI PO job. So you have to be ready for that competition. And before I leave, let me also tell you that we have close to 1,12,000 students who have joined us in the last 40 days after the SBI PO notification has been released. So even if 9.75 lakh candidates have applied, 1 out of every 8 candidates is preparing using TalentSprint's portal. So what are you waiting for? Join us now. It's absolutely free and get started with your preparation. Remember, the more you practice, the easier it gets. So keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next session. Bye.